Greetings everyone, welcome to Sid's Little Corner of the Internet. We've got another Transformers review coming your way. This time around we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers R.E.D. Cheetor. So as we always do, let's go ahead and move him out of the way and we'll bring that packaging in so you can get a good look at that. So we'll bring that right up front. Here you go up at the top. You have the red robot enhanced design. You have Cheetor right there. He is a non-converting figure. Transformers up the side. You have your little accessory panel window there. And right here you have your product shots. So he comes with all of these accessories. We have red up the side. Just to be sure, this figure does not convert. You have all your warnings down here. You have everyone's favorite, the sad baby. You have the partial artwork on the side, and then we will turn it so you can get a better look at that artwork right there, which I think looks great. And up at the top, you have Beast Wars, and at the bottom, you have manufacturing information. That's it for the outside packaging. Let's talk about what came in there. So, of course, it comes with your warnings. Great. And it comes with the insert that we've seen with the other Transformers R.E.D. figures. So I really like these inserts. I love the schematic look. So you get some of his accessories there on the side. And then, of course, you get the schematic of Cheetor himself right there. So I think that looks really cool. Alright, as far as the rest of the accessories go, we will start with, I suppose, the Energon crystal that he comes with. So I think that looks pretty cool. That's got some good detail to it. And it's a soft plastic, so you're not going to hurt yourself or anyone else with it. I think that looks nice. And then we'll talk about his hands. He does come with a couple different sets of hands, so he does have the left and right claw hands here, just kind of that open, gonna get you kind of hand. Nicely detailed. And then he comes with left and right trigger hands, so he can use the next accessory that I'm about to show you, which is his really nice, highly detailed, beautifully painted gut gun. I think this thing looks great. This is probably one of the better accessories that I've seen out of the R.E.D. figures that I've reviewed. I think this thing just looks really, really nice. I love the detail on there. I love the paint apps. I just think it looks spot on. And as an added bonus, what do we get to do with this? That's right, everybody. We get to use effects because he comes with effects. So yeah, now you can just plug the effect right into the gut gun and blammo, you've got some sweet effect action. But wait, there's more, because you get another effect. So you have two different effects that you can use for the gut gun. This is great, guys. This is great. This is what they should have been doing with all the other figures in the first place. Maybe I'm the only one out there that loves effects, but I don't think I am. So this just takes it to the next level of playability. So yeah, he comes with all of this, guys. So you have got just all kinds of fun here, just in those effects, or those accessories with those effects. And yes, of course, he has two other fist hands that you can exchange as well. So let's go ahead and move these out of the way, and we'll bring Cheetor in for his close-up because he is a good-looking figure. So let's go ahead and start right up there at the top with that head sculpt. Looks really, really good. Those paint apps, the eyes, everything on there just looks fantastic. That sculpt, really like it. Back here, you can see the, whatever you want to call these, the jut up out of his shoulders, and then the nicely painted backs of his cheetah shoulders. And you have that very well done cheetah chest head right there. And look at all this molded in detail, guys. I mean, look at this all the way around. I mean, this looks absolutely great. Just the paint apps and everything that they've done on here. If I sound a little excited about this figure, it's because I am. So sorry, not sorry, but this thing looks great. Got his shin spikes right there. Feet look good. And look at these details on the side. I'll lift his arms up here so you can see up underneath. Just detail all the way around. Got the cheetah legs crossed in that X in the back. Detail back here. Just very well done. Really, really impressed with this figure. Backs of the arms look great. All that molded in detail on the forearm. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. Now, something that I complained about in the RC figure was her chest plate was removable, but it was very, very loose. So Cheetor has a removable chest plate as well. His holds in much tighter and it's much better. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off, and because I want to show you the detail that's underneath here. So you just take that out, and then let's set him off to the side for a second because I want to bring this in for a close-up too. So you can see even in there, the level of detail that they have just molded in on the inside, which is really impressive. I mean, you've even got little teeth for the cheetah part molded in. So really cool, really cool. And bringing in the figure himself so you could see what's underneath that chest plate. Look at all that molded in detail as well. This is just phenomenal, guys. I mean, for the price point, a $20 US figure, this is just really cool. It's everything that I was hoping RC would be. And we'll plug this back in, and then that's not going anywhere. You're not gonna shake that off just by playing with him. You can twist it to the side a little bit if you want him to look a little cattywampus, but there you go. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll talk about the articulation on this guy. So starting with the head, similar to Optimus and Megatron, he does have that dog bone two-ended ball joint, so you can move the head side to side and front to back, but he doesn't have as much of a range of motion as Optimus and Megatron does, but he does have some. So you can get him to do that side to side motion, and you can get him to do a little bit of the front to back motion. I'm trying to show the best angle for it. So you can get a little bit side to side, a little bit front to back, and you can get the normal side to side, and you can get an okay amount of up and an okay amount of down. And his head could go all the way around until it starts running into these shoulder spikes right here. So you get about to this point, you start rubbing his face on those shoulder spikes, and I don't want to do that. So as far as I'm concerned, his head can go around about that far. All right, so for the shoulders can come up that far, and they can go all the way around. Just be mindful of the cheetah arms. So when you bring those around, you just got to bring that out a little bit. And he does, this is great, he has upper bicep rotation, but he also has lower bicep rotation. So he has 2 points of rotation on his bicep right there. Just absolutely fabulous. And for the elbow, you can get right at 90. And for the hands, like most of the red figures, because you have those little hinges in there, or those little joints, if you will. There you go. So you have those little joints, so you can bring the hands in that far. You can bring them out that far. And of course, you can turn them all the way around to get whatever pose you want. And great news, guys, he does have an ab crunch. So you can take him back about that far, bring him forward about that far. So from the side, forward about that much, backward quite a bit. So I guess it's almost a back bend more than an ab crunch, but it's still there and it lends to the posability. So love it. And then a waist rotation. And for the hips, he can do the splits that far. He can kick forward this far and backwards that far. And he does have upper thigh rotation right here, so you can bring that around whichever way you need to go. And down here at the knee, he has double jointed knee, guys. So check this out. You can get pretty much whatever kind of bend you want out of this guy. You want to talk about some great dynamic poses. That double jointed knee is going to help you out right there. And down here at the feet, he has good amounts of ankle tilt, either direction, in or out. And he can bring his feet down that far and bring his feet up just a little bit. So would have been nice to have had a little bit more articulation in those feet, but overall this guy is a very well articulated figure. So no complaints whatsoever there. Let's get him standing. There you go. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll talk about these accessories and have a little bit of fun with him. So first we'll go ahead and we'll take the clenched fist hands out. And one thing that I will say with him versus the other Red characters that I've reviewed so far, it's so much easier to take the hands out and put them in on him. They're not loose by any means. I don't mean that, but I just mean that I don't feel like I have to pull the figure apart. I just give a nice gentle tug and those hands come out. So much easier to do. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll start with those claw hands. So we'll give him his claw hands and put those on. So we'll just plug those in. And do the same thing here for the left hand. And, you know, of course with the claw hands you can, you know, claw other bots or put in whatever poses you want. But really these claw hands can also hold this crystal. So there is a sweet spot. So bear with me for a moment while I find it. But once you find that sweet spot with the crystal, then he can hold it fairly securely. I mean, it's not going to be a vice grip hold. So, you know, you can't expect him to be able to palm it upside down or anything like that. But you can have him doing something like this. So he will hold that crystal. And, you know, as long as you're gentle, it's not going to go anywhere. And he can do this with either hand, so kind of give you a close-up there of that. See the way he's holding it. Okay, and then you can do the same thing over here. Again, it's just a matter of finding that sweet spot. And I'll try for a few seconds here, and if I don't, then we'll just move on. But I was able to do it earlier as well, so you can take my word. There you go. Take my word that he can hold it in both hands. So that's really cool. You give him that ability to hold that energon crystal. And right there, he's looking like, hey, what? I didn't take the crystal. What? Why are you looking at me? Anyway, all right, let's go ahead and take that out of there. And what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and we'll take the claw hands off, and we will put his trigger hands on. Plug those in. All right, and then we'll bring in the gut gun. And I will say that he holds this gun very securely. So it's easier to put the gun in before you put the hand on, but it's not impossible. So you just get it in there and give it a little bit of a squeeze. And that gun is not going to go anywhere. I mean, it's there. So he holds it nice and firm. And then you can, of course, take one of your effects, plug that in, and look at that. Blammo! Love it. Love, 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 love the fact that he's got effects. That brings out the kid in me. So, and if that's not a big enough boom, let's go ahead and get that one out of there. Let's bring in the big boom. Yeah. Big boom. Perfect. Squeeze that gun back down in there. Oh yeah. So doing some big booming now. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Love it. So much fun with this figure. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll take the gun out and move all these off to the side, and then we'll bring in some of the comparisons so you can see how he stacks up against some other figures here. So straighten him out. Try to get him as straight on as we can. bring him in a little bit closer so you can get a good look at him. So what we'll do is I'll do a couple of the just for fun comparisons, and then we'll get into some more legitimate comparisons. So the first one that we'll do, I don't have a Beast Wars original Cheetor. As I've mentioned in previous videos, particularly for the Kingdom reviews, the Beast Wars, it kind of passed me by. I was at that point, you know, a little too old. I was starting my married life, starting a family, that kind of stuff, and so, you know, I had to put away the toys, you know. So I never had much interest in the Beast Wars at that point. I never collected anything. So the closest that I have from an older generation, I decided I would go ahead and bring in my G1 Razor Claw. So, you know, he's a Predacon, so it counts, right? So there he is next to G1 Razor Claw. All right, move him on out of the way. And then what we'll do, since he always looked up to the big guy, we'll bring in my Transformers Kingdom Optimus Primal, so you can see how he looks next to Optimus. All right, and I'll bring in my universal scale. So let's bring in the Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise, aka Kingdom Optimus Prime. So you can see how he stacks up there. And let's go ahead and bring in the Kingdom version of Cheetor, so you can see how those two guys look together. And as far as the robot modes look, this guy's got it in spades. He of the little feet over here, he doesn't like to stand very well for me anyway. And don't get me wrong, this is a cool figure, and I really like him in his cheetah mode. Of course, you know, being an action figure that is non-converting, that is just for the robot mode, this guy better look better, right? And he does. So, yeah, there he is next to the Kingdom Cheetor. And let's move him on out of the way. And what we'll do now is we'll bring in the other Transformers Red figures, and we'll just line all of them up so you can see everybody together. So we'll bring in RC and see how he looks compared to her. And let's go ahead and bring in Megatron. And then I'm going to pop RC out of here, and I'm going to replace her with Optimus Prime. There we go. Come on, get your feet straightened up. There you go. All right. So there you go. There is the Transformers Red Cheetor next to the Transformers Red Optimus Prime, next to the Transformers Red Megatron. So what we'll do now is we'll get this all cleaned up, get these guys out of here, and then I will give you my final thoughts on the Transformers Red Cheetor. Alright guys, so my final thoughts on the Transformers Red Cheetor. I like him. I like this figure a lot. I like it a lot more than what I thought I was going to. The articulation, the posability, the overall presence of this figure, the paint apps, the accessories. This is a win in my books. This is probably, out of the 4 Transformers Red figures that I have presented, this is probably my favorite. And trust me when I tell you, I love me some Optimus Prime and Megatron, so it's saying a lot that this figure has captured my attention as much as it has. I just think that there is so much playability here. I really, really enjoy this figure. And I think that for the first time between Optimus Prime, Megatron, and RC, this is the first Transformers Red figure that I can say I really feel is worth the $20 US. So I highly recommend, as long as you're not the kind of person who absolutely has to have a Transformer that transforms, if you're okay with the non-converting figure, then I highly recommend you picking this guy up. I don't think you're going to regret it. So with that, there's not a whole lot else to say. Plain and simple, I like this figure, and I'm really happy that I picked him up. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this review. As I always say, thanks guys for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Give us a like. Give us a Rumble if you're watching us on rumble.com. And check us out on Facebook. It's facebook.com/SidKReilly. We're trying to get some videos and pictures and things like that up there just for fun. And yeah, that's it, guys. Pick this guy up. We'll talk to you next time. Until then, take care.